Good morning. I'm Jenny, and my guests are.
I'm Surly Dan.
And I'm Mike.
Hi, Dan and Mike from Widowmaker Supply.
How are you doing today?
I am great. I am great. Thanks so much for joining me today on the show and co-hosting with me. This is going to be a blast. I've never had two men co-host with me. This is kind of a fantasy. I don't know what to expect.
For us as well.
Well, how are you both?
Awful. You?
Fantastic.
No, we're good. We're not much of morning people, so
You're
that's
not
the fun.
morning people.
I am a huge morning person. I'm at my best in the morning, and
I am not.
They call him Surly Dan for a reason. He's really, really good from 9 to 9:30 p.m. Outside of that, he's miserable.
It's a solid half hour though.
Yeah.
Solid half hour.
Like the full half hour, or is it like compartmentalized into like tasks and stuff too? Or...
No, I think you get the full 30 for me. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid. I mean, it's more than I've got for most guys. Yeah. So, what are you drinking this morning?
Well,
Funny you should ask.
So that was the joke. We're like, do we pump the hell out of our shit here? Like, is it going to be like, that segment in Wayne's World where they're like
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Nuprin, little yellow, different.
Yes, by all means. I am wearing the official hoodie.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I feel like I should have some marshmallows on hand, but sadly, I have no crew here today.
We are drinking our coffee. Yeah, our Widowmaker Supply Camp Roast coffee, fresh roasted by Black Sheep Coffee Roasters in Welland, Ontario.
Ooh, very, very nice. And I've had the coffee. Thank you so much for sending me some. You're also a very kind and generous sponsor of an earlier episode. So thank you for sending that coffee. It's delish.
I'm glad you like it.
So so we're somewhere between like coffee snobs and normal people. And
I don't know if you call us normal.
Well,
normal gets, I guess.
Come on. So when we went in to do this, so we don't want to overbuild this. We have nothing to do with the physical roasting of the coffee, but we also did more than just slap our name on it. So we went in to the place. We had a nice coffee tasting. They took us through a bunch of things. Some coffees we liked, some we didn't. And we're like, this is like one step above what you would normally get from like your drive-through coffee shop. And our thing, especially like in the hunting outdoor space, just get rid of the red can, the blue can, and just get something a little better, whether it's ours or someone else's. You got to treat yourself a little nicer in the coffee world.
I like how you did that. Now we're not going to get sued anymore because we always say the names, but the red can and the blue can.
The red can, the blue can.
Red can, blue can, devil.
I can confirm that you guys have amazing products and you put a lot of passion into what you do. And I can tell just by looking at you that you both have huge hearts, and what you do, I mean, is just incredible.
It's the first time that anyone's ever said that to me.
The only time that huge is usually my waistline, but that's it.
You guys got huge waistlines.
Tell us a little bit about Widowmaker, how it all started, what's it all about. Inform the audience, because I love your products. I love the whole outdoors, fishing, camping, hunting, all that stuff. So embellish.
Well, Widowmaker was kind of born after a bad day at work. Our other partner who's not here, Danny, is not here right now, but I called him up one day and I'm like, listen, are you serious about this hat? He wanted to do hats. He's always been fascinated with hats. I've known him a long time. Yep. Like, you want to try this thing? He's like, yeah, let's do this. So we go to our local bar that's no longer there, unfortunately. But and we talk about it, and we're like, well, what can we call this? How can we make this company work? And what can we call it? Let's start with a name first, because everything starts with a name. So we go through. We have Barn Tackle was one. We thought Barn Tackle was hilarious.
I still think Barn Tackle
it is a great name, but this like refers to like farming supplies and stuff. So we don't sell farming supplies. So I'm like, well, what about Widowmaker? So we both agreed on that because Widowmaker is kind of a multifaceted thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you've ever watched The Dark Knight, and if you're a Batman person at all, like how Heath Ledger's Joker's got a different story for how he got those scars. Every time he asks us anything about Widowmaker, we're like, oh, well. This
is the most honest one you'll probably get. But yeah, usually we play around with people. But yeah, so it refers to like hunting. If you're a fisherman, you fish like 6 months out of the month or of the year, and you're now a widow because your husband's
Right. Right.
And then there's
Yes.
the the nastier component that if you were to harvest a male animal, the female would then become a widow.
Or if you're climbing a big mountain, it's a widowmaker. Or if you're a camper, there's always that one tree, the precarious
How
tree.
much time you got?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So there's quite the element of death. So super positive. Love it. Love it.
Well, I know you phrase it like that. It doesn't sound too good.
Yeah. So we sell. I mean, we're not. We sell hats, shirts, hoodies. A lot of hoodies. That beautiful one you're wearing there.
Mhm.
Coffee,
Super
spices. Spices
comfy.
is gonna be a
Love
new
it.
thing.
Yeah. Fabulous. I am drinking some tea today. I just so happened to have a massive anxiety attack about an hour before we started the show. So if I'm a little jittery during the during the show, it's not you.
We have that effect on people. We hold ourselves to such a high standard that I'm sure for you, I could get the anxiety around trying to keep it up to our professional level.
Yeah, I was a little super nervous, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, the rumors I hear are true. So, yeah. How was your weekend, fellas?
We actually,
Yeah, we had a great weekend.
Yeah, we were actually together this weekend. We a friend of ours, you guys, he has a sailboat in Lions Head, Ontario, which is near like Owen Sound area.
Okay,
So
where are you guys from?
We're from near Niagara Falls, so we're actually Fort Erie, Ontario.
Oh, okay. So you guys are like super, super close. Okay.
Super close. That's why we're offended we didn't get like the let's come podcast in person.
I know. I should have thought of that ahead of time, but clearly I'm not with it. Anywho, continue. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good. We tooted around a sailboat in the rain, did some fishing,
some drinking,
just a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking.
A lot of sun this weekend, so we had to make up, pass the time with something.
We basically drank until we thought it was sunny out, and it wasn't. So it was better than time at our real jobs, and it was good to get out on the boat.
Mm-hmm. What's the drink of choice when you guys go fishing?
Well, I mean, it seems so cliche, but beer usually.
Technically, it's
not there.
Well, yeah, this is sailing. We're anchored. It's okay.
We're anchored, so it's good there.
I love to drink and fish, but you
can't.
Yeah. Do you have special like tackle that you prefer to use when you go fishing, or is any old like worm on the hook, or what's the deal?
Well, funny you say that. So where we're in Georgian Bay and targeting salmon or various trout species, but salmon is what we were looking for. And they had been eating this particular type of lure, about this big. It's a spoon spinning lure, and it's called, the color is called monkey puke. And we're like, that's the coolest name ever. How could you not eat that? Smashing these things on the monkey puke. And we made the joke that somehow throughout the course of this past winter, the fish must have had like a staff meeting or something and said, hey, we lost too many good brothers and sisters to this monkey puke. It's going to look really attractive, but don't go biting that puke.
I know you see it dancing out there, but don't go for it. That's how we lost Bruce.
Remember Bruce? He ate the puke and now he's dead. Yeah.
Bruceica. Poor Bruce.
Yeah.
At least that's how we thought it went down.
Yeah, hand over our heart for Bruce. But it works out because the places you could be being successful before, you're not the following year. And like any species that you're hunting or fishing, things just change. And I think it is honestly due to the staff meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there was like a secret memo that went out ahead of time, or do you?
Yeah, that probably goes out ahead of time for those who can't attend the physical meeting. Pandemic and all, underwater too. Like
Zoom call.
I mean, yeah, and you can never be too. I mean, with the union nowadays, you got to be, as per, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah.
So probably the memo first, followed by the meeting. Is what I think.
Makes sense. Have you seen those realistic water activated lures? I saw a TikTok video the other day. As soon as it goes into salt water, it looks like a real friggin' fish.
They are amazing.
Aren't they?
Never use one. We have ones that are similar. They're just so expensive, and when we're garbage anglers like us, you lose them from time to time. And we're
oh no, got a snag.
There goes $50.
Yeah. So did you guys prefer more of the fishing season or the hunting season? I'm not a hunter, I have to say. That's not my thing, but fishing was a large part of my life. I am a vegan, so it's hard to like try to explain the vegan with the I still love the fishing. But
what's the ground rules on that? Like, because obviously you're not eating them, but I mean just the ethical surrounding, like even the catch and release part. Like, what would it?
Yeah, so now I haven't been fishing in give or take some years. but it's just was such a big part of my childhood and
Mhm.
of my culture that it just doesn't compute in my brain the same way as like hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it probably doesn't make any sense at all, but but to me it does. But yeah, obviously like I wouldn't eat the fish.
Yeah.
It would be like a catch and release kind of thing. But but yeah, I don't know. But I just the whole I guess um the whole fishing thing, is a part of
Well, the fishing thing, and to also answer
experience.
your question, the hunting thing is it's as much, if not more, an experience in nature than it is the actual harvest of the animal or the catching of the fish or whatever it is
Mhm.
you're doing. And for us, we are both more hunting than fishing. It's just that's the time of year fishing. But the other guy in our company who's not here is more fishing than hunting. And to make all the vegans happy, we go home, a lot of the times with absolutely nothing.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So
And
you're
it is
shit hunters then.
shit hunting. But we're also there's some, we're not one for taking, a shot that would be like a higher percentage of a less ethical kill or something like that too. Like
Right.
there's a large amount of ethics, especially in hunting. Fishing's a little more like throw the thing in, whatever bites it bites it. You have,
Right.
you have some control, but you really don't. Whereas hunting, it's more, it is more about the experience. You're a little more picky and choosy about the types of shots you're taking, the time of day you're going out. It's
Mhm.
without sounding like super hokey, like there's a beauty sort of component to it as well that gets often overlooked by people who don't hunt. It's not just about going out there slaughtering animals,
And it's
Right.
not that easy to kill something.
and it's not that easy to kill something because at the staff meeting, again, the deer have the staff meeting, the turkey have the staff meeting. It's the best way to get the information out there.
Yeah, you could speak to a broader audience. Now, do you feel like it's fair when you hunt? Because there's this conversation too about hunting with guns and rifles as opposed to hunting with a bow and arrow. So for me, I think that there's a lot of skill in using guns and rifles, and I get that piece, and I've used many myself. Um,
You're the
not on
oddest
X's, don't
vegan
worry.
that I've ever met.
um, uh, but I think for me, like it makes more sense hunting to use a bow and arrow because there's a lot more. It's a little bit more fair.
So you can chime on this too, but my thoughts on that is, so the way they work, there's different skill. Obviously, you have to get closer to the animal when you're hunting using a bow, and to balance, which is more difficult.
Mhm.
And then you have to practice with a bow. If you don't, you're going to be a garbage shot. And then even like your drunkest, worst, like stereotypical hunter that you hate,
Yep.
even they wouldn't want to intentionally take a bad shot, or an animal runs off wounded or something like that. So that you have to practice more with a bow.
Mhm.
And it's more difficult because you have to get the animals close. But the way they balance that out is the way hunting seasons work is the times when the animals are most likely to come see you, like they call it the rut, when they're like ready to have sex. You get better hunting seasons when it's bow only, to
So
give you
it's
that
their
little.
fault, is what you're saying.
It's a cruel. That's like probably the worst part of hunting.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Is
that's not how I want to go, right?
So like the deer, for example, they have sex. Like imagine getting to have sex once a year, and you're totally into it. And no matter, I don't care if there's 15 hunters out there, I'm going to get some of that deer poon.
I'm making a run for it, Robbie.
Yeah, and then
I mean, at this point, I'd take once a year. I'm just saying, I would.
yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine you had that once a year lined up in the books in the old calendar, and something is a little bit. I hear something over there. I don't think it's quite a squirrel, but once a year.
Mm.
Doesn't smell right, but we're doing this.
Yeah, I think it's a hunter. Don't go over there. Well, look at that. Once a year. I gotta wait till next year. No.
Or there's a decoy and it, like it's not moving. Like what am I doing wrong? What's all my moves are all wrong? What am I doing?
Holes a hole there.
Wow,
So that's probably not the answer you thought you were going to get, but here we are.
hey, it is what it is. To each their own, hunters and fishers and vegans alike.
I think so many of my good friends are vegans, and there's always this, and you probably experience this all the time. Is people, they're like thinking there's always going to be some like war, some discussion, or some debate to be had.
Mhm.
Just do you. I'm not going to force you to eat something you don't want to eat, and don't.
Exactly.
I love vegetables.
Yeah,
They're delicious.
exactly. I mean, there's more to, there's more food than just the vegetables. There's like, I mean, anything meat related now that you have, they can make in a vegan version. So they've really come a long way than, like 25 years ago when literally all you could eat was like salad, you know,
Mm.
and rice.
So
So,
obviously, like as a point of interest, I've dabbled in the Beyond Meats and things like that.
mhm.
But then the people who are not vegan, who eat those regularly as like a health conscious decision, I don't think I understand that, because it's still garbage for you. Like you don't go
Well,
to
that's still fast food. Yeah, just
yeah.
because it's vegan doesn't mean it's fat free or it's unhealthy. There's a lot of processed vegan food. You just got to know what to pick and choose, right? So like the Beyond the Beyond Burger and stuff like that is still like really fatty.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
the same greasy bun, all the sweet ketchup and everything that goes along with it. That's like you
Nobody
go.
wants greasy buns. Nobody.
See, that's like the only
Nobody.
time in my life where I want a greasy.
Yeah.
For the non-vegan to go there and eat thinking that they're making a healthy decision, like no, if you're going to go to McDonald's and you do eat meat, you get the quarter pounder, you get the Big Mac. You don't be messing around.
Technically, I'm not even sure if that actually is beef in those things.
Probably is.
Like, you ever seen a chicken McNugget? It's like boots to circles. You ever seen a chicken with legs like that? It looks like
I've
everything
never
like.
well, I think that's the biggest scam of all because I've seen a lot of chicken and I've never seen chickens with nuggets before ever. So I think that's one of the biggest scam. I don't know what they're trying to sell us, but it's balls, let me tell you.
And when they're shaping those nuggets, like why? So there's the three shapes, right? There's the round thing, the boot, and that
Like
other
like a weird like
the
triangle
bell,
type
the
diamond.
bell, the boot, and the round, whatever the hell.
But it's funny because McDonald's fixed it, and then everybody's like, we're going to fix it because people are complaining about the boots and circles, and then people complain that there wasn't boots and circles anymore. So like, there's no pleasing people.
No pleasing people.
You just can't win everybody over. It's not possible. It's I always say, it's just you do you. Did you poop today?
Not yet.
Wow. Okay. I did. Not more than half an hour ago.
I'm
Yeah.
jealous.
I've listened to a few of your shows, and I see that is an element. So I'll tell a story.
Please,
Yeah.
please.
So I go upstairs to use the washroom, pre-show jitters here. And plus, it's the morning coffee, this and that.
Yep. Mhm.
And didn't my lovely wife leave something in the toilet for me? And we don't have that relationship. That's not normal. That's not proper toilet etiquette in my household.
Oh, it's
And
not. Okay.
No, it's not. And I'm mortified. And I'm still like, you talk about your anxiety, talk about just being on. I'm like, I'm still a little rattled from that.
Is that poop in the toilet?
Ah!
Well, anyway,
just looking at you as you walked in. Yeah.
You realize people out there starving to death in world hunger, and you're worried about a little doo doo in the toilet.
It's not my thing, Dan.
Poop is not your thing. Oh my gosh. Have you ever because I'm sure you and your wife leave the door open to the washroom, as you do when you're married for umpteen years.
No.
I'm sure you leave the door.
I gotta chime in. That is like that's like a sacred thing between me and my wife. We don't. That's one deal breaker. Just don't leave the door open. Don't walk in. It's weird because never mind. We're not gonna get into this, but she's gonna kill me. But definitely do not leave the door open.
Yeah, unless there's a medical issue where you need my assistance, I'd be happy to help as a husband. But like, no, it's your private time, and then.
Okay, so you've never walked by your spouse wiping their butt, and they've been in mid wipe, and you've never witnessed that.
And to God, never.
No,
never. No,
you've never held your spouse's hand while they were pooping.
No. Is that am I missing out on a piece of life, or?
I just want to know how close you are. That's all. I'm just trying to. It's research for relationship talk later on my clinic.
Well, pretty close, but there's my line.
You found it.
Yeah, it only took you flesh that out in 20 minutes. Good job.
Well, I guess to the point where if there's no toilet paper left, like you just see the door open quickly and just like, and it comes whistling through the door crack, and then the door slams shut. That's it. That's all we got.
Do we do the toilet paper, the TP, or we go baby wipes? I'm pro baby wipes.
I'm on septic because I live in the country, so I'm anti. Yes.
Why did you say it like that? I live in the country.
I'm on the septic. But yeah, that was I love where I live, and I used to live in the city, and one of the only things that I miss is the baby wipes. Yeah.
I think we're like 50-50.
Or do you do like the initial cleanup with the paper and then the touch up with the?
Yeah, I live in an older house, so I don't want to ever have to touch anything in that older house. So.
Yeah. So the age of the house determines the.
Well, it's
old pipes.
It's old pipes.
Can't be clogging up them old pipes.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Old pipes. Yeah. Um, we have a fabulous show today. I'm very excited. We're going to do some things that I have never, some segments I have never broached before in the history of Wake Up with Jenny and Friends. So I'm super excited. And again, there's two of you, 2-on-1. This is just, I mean, hello.
Working on Devil's Freeway right now.
Devil's
Just
three-way. Yep.
take it easy on me, boys. So here we go. We're going to talk about different careers. We're going to talk about some survival tips, outdoor adventures. We have our famous 3-question draw. And one thing we are bringing back, which I think is hilarious, which we have done on the show before, is wrong answers only. And I mean, this could go well, it could go sideways, it could be an eternal shit show. We'll just see how it goes. But you told us a little bit about how you started Widowmaker, but let's just ask and see here. Alternative careers. What alternative careers would you have, each of you, 2 of them, 2 different ones, if you were not doing what you do today?
I would say, is just Jeff Bezos a career? Like, so I can have one of them dick rockets?
Just
Literally
not
fuck
Jeff
space.
Bezos.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, Jeff Bezos is a career. No, I would be a chef.
You'd be a chef.
I would go to
That's a good one. You
yeah,
stole that.
I would go to culinary school, and I would do something in the food space.
Very nice. Very nice. And Dan?
You just took that one. I would say probably I always like I always like, you watch the movie stuff. I'd always want to be like a bartender in like an old Irish pub. Just, you know, have the old, like, look, everybody call me Smitty instead, and then like have the towel over my shoulder and just like always cleaning one glass. I think that's what I like to do. Clean glass. Maybe that's it.
That one glass.
Clean as glass.
I would be more like Tom Cruise Cocktail. I think that looks like more, but not Tom Cruise, the other guy.
Jeez,
What was his?
Oh,
what was his
Brian, Brian, not Brian Dennehy, Brian.
name? Brian Denny. The old English guy who was like Tom Cruise's like teacher guy.
Yeah.
Michael Caine, is it?
Yeah.
Michael Caine.
Yeah. Oh, always cleaning that one glass. That's like the one fly, you know, in those those UNICEF commercials. It's always just the one fly that's always, it can never just, yeah. I would be I think I'd be a farmer, like a rancher. A rancher. Yeah.
Like cattle and stuff?
Well, not so much the cattle, but I'd have the horses, I'd have the goats. I'm just in love with goats. I'd have the farmland, the growing of the veggies, the whole kit and caboodle.
Do you watch Yellowstone?
I've seen an episode. I can't get into it, and I'm almost angry at myself for that because I love Kevin Costner.
No, I got to interject. It's okay. I don't like that show. I got like the horse, and I was like, man, I'm done.
So if that's the episode you're watching, after that, I can't say it's the last horse that dies, but like there is some plot development, and it's not just a horse shooting show.
You sound like people that love Jägermeister. You're like, just have more than one shot. You're gonna love it. It's the best thing ever. It's never any better.
I swear, on your 25th shot, it's gonna be like the tastiest thing.
Like if you have to mix it with something to hide the taste of it, then you probably shouldn't be drinking it.
It's a good show.
That's my dig on Yellowstone.
True facts. Second career choice, what would it be?
Well, I thought I did too because I was really serious about Jeff Bezos.
You were not serious about the Jeff Bezos.
You're gonna laugh at this other one. I would be. It's not a funny one. I would have a lawn care business where it's just me and a tractor, and I got a couple like big enough properties where I'm not driving all over the place, and just sit there and listen to music and podcasts and just mow the lawn and get paid for it. Tarps off, suntan. I think if you somehow turn that into enough to pay my mortgage, yeah.
Nice.
That sounds nice.
Do you miss your college days?
We went to college locally, so we didn't have like the fun
experience, right?
Experience of like going. We actually went to college together, and we basically cut class and went to his basement and played darts.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went to, I don't know, it was Zayre's at the time. They had like, you get like a $5 chicken and wedges.
Yep.
And we gorge on chicken and wedges and play darts and drink beer and
pretend like we went to college.
Pretend like we went to college.
Nice.
You?
Do I miss my college days? Yes, I miss my college days. Yes, I hated high school, um, but I loved college. Oh man, college is where it's at, and still today, I'm a forever student. I always love going back to school. Always love learning. I'm at my happiest when I'm in school. But Dan, second career choice?
I think I would like to be a postman or post person, I guess you want to call it nowadays.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a morning person.
Really?
Hear me out. Hear me out. I know where you're going with this. I'm not a morning person by any stretch of the imagination, but you're done by like noon. Nobody's gonna bother me. I can be surly as I want in the morning. Nobody's gonna occasional dog here and there, and that's it. Walking around, nobody hates the postman.
Why don't you just look for a job with a half day, some profession that you would like better? You're just looking for a half day. He hates the post. So his role, we all have our respective roles in the company.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he does is he makes our daily trips to the post office, and he fucking hates it. All he does is complain about the people at the post office, going to the post office.
I didn't say I want to work in the post office. I want to deliver mail.
You had your time. You goes postal without being a post office employee. Could you imagine if you had the suit and the power and the dogs chasing you and the cookies in your pocket and whatever it is you got to do? You know, it's the worst thing for you. For your own mental health, pick a different job.
Well, how about you just drive around in like that little tiny mail truck and just like be that guy that's on the wrong side of the road, just putting the mail in all the time.
Like a UPS.
Yeah, but these guys don't even get out of the car. They just literally just put it right in the mail.
So my uncle actually does that.
It sounds magical.
It's a retirement job, but he drives around and delivers papers, not like a paper boy like you would expect, but like those guys that are always driving on the wrong side of the road and just putting papers into like.
Where were you like 5 minutes ago? I was just talking about that.
You're talking post.
What's the difference?
One you have to deal with people.
See what I could deal with on a daily basis. No wonder why I'm surly.
No, wrong.
Do you guys have nicknames for each other? Because I feel like you do. I feel like you do.
I have never had a nickname in my life that is stuck.
Because you're your man with two first names, so it's weird.
Yeah. So he is commonly Surly Dan.
I've been Forgetful Sammy.
Smitty the produce guy.
I've had a few.
Tukey, what do you got? Dano. He's Big Dano. That's what we call him a lot.
Yeah, it's making a comeback.
Yeah, I've never had a nickname though. In my hunting group, they call me Mike.
Well, not to your face, at least.
My face. Well, they call me the CUNT word, but that's not a fun word.
So what does your wife call you?
Mike.
Oh, that just Mike. just that's it all the time. Just Mike.
Real excited. She's just pooping in toilets randomly.
Okay, so it's just like poop and first names at your house.
A lot of missionary.
It's just different tones of Mike. It's like Mike. Yeah. Mike.
Every morning. You just eat crushed green.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Here we go. My second one, I'd probably be a marine biologist.
Oh, that's what I wanted to be for real.
We talked about that.
Did you
really? Marineland crushed that dream.
Because you know what it always reminds. So I'm a product of the 80s, and do you remember Danger Bay?
Yes.
Oh.
Had a huge crush on Nicole. Nicole was my jam.
Yeah. So anything 80s, I am about. 80s shows, 80s series, 80s wrestling, 80s like 80s everything. Yeah, I know. I am I was the kid who I had my Barbies in one corner and my Hot Wheels and my Transformers in the other, and then I ride my big wheels down the street to go play. Like I was like full on fucking light bright 80s. Yeah,
neon hat and things and
slap bracelets.
Have you
bracelets?
Yes. Slap bracelet. It's back, baby.
They're like plasticky little things, and you go and then
Widowmaker slap bracelets.
I remember walking through this is late 80s at this point, walking through the Welland Fair, and there's this late carny with like a belt full of slap bracelet, and all she would say is, "Let me slap you," and she would slap the slap bracelets.
And then you found out that she doesn't actually work there, and she's she's wanted in 3 states.
Have you watched they're really good, the A&E documentaries on all the 80s wrestlers? They're about an hour and a half each. Like Macho
I have
Man.
Not. No, I do a lot of Netflix. I haven't watched those ones, but did you see the Diamond Dallas Page with Jake the Snake Roberts?
Yeah, and that's how I got
Resurrection of Jake the Snake.
I heard Jake Snake on a podcast. He's talking about Diamond Dallas Page, and then I watched that, and then I got this rabbit hole of. Is it a rabbit hole or a wormhole?
I think it's a rabbit hole.
I say rabbit hole. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with wormhole. And I fell in that wormhole because that's like it's got like a space component to it. I think then like whatever the case.
Back to that space.
All this old wrestling stuff around the anniversary of Andre the Giant's death. All this stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah. I really want to get to Florida because I really want to go to Hogan's Beach Shop.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. And he's there quite a bit. Like you're legit likely to run into him anytime you go there. So I think if I could go there, if I met him and I saw him and I got a picture with Hulk Hogan, I think I would be like oh, I can it's okay if I die now. I mean this was a great day. It's okay.
It's 26 or 27.
26-inch pythons wrap around you and you could just die right there.
Oh.
You eat vitamins and
say your prayers.
Speaking of saying our prayers, let's move on to our 5 best outdoor survival tips or gear. Let's speed round it. Do all 5. Mike, you want to go first?
Oh, you're on the spot now, pal.
Widowmaker Supply Camp Bros Coffee. Woo!
Okay, coffee number 1. Yep.
I have one for real. And it's not like a survivalist outdoor, like get in the middle of nowhere. And this is just for your regular campers.
Yeah.
Just have enough toilet paper.
Toilet paper?
You ever wipe with leaves?
Oh, I didn't hear you. Did you say toilet paper?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, toilet paper.
No, I've never wiped with leaves. I've never actually pooped on the side of the road before, which is kind of a common thing amongst a lot of my co-hosts, or in the woods. I have peed in the woods, but anywho, number 3 on your list, as I can see Mike ready to throw up.
You gotta go. Just flush it or just cover it up or something. Leave it there for your husband.
Dog.
Oh no husband. You can get toilet seats that you can hook onto the back, like what do you call that? The jack thing at the back of your truck.
Trailer hitch?
The hitch. There you go. Thank you. And you could put the toilet seat on there and then just like sit on the back, just back her up into the woods. And
we should get one of those.
Yeah.
Then you gotta clean it and like do it.
Well, we'll put it on your truck, so I don't have to worry about it.
Imagine leaving it on there and just driving around with it.
Can you
like a windsock full of shit.
The person behind you gets this like backsplash of like
Lord. You want me to take over here?
Yes.
Mike's more of like a camper that sleeps in a trailer camp. I do a little bit more out there camp.
So don't blow up my candle.
You like to glamp, Mike.
Look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless I'm hunting or doing something that I'm dragging around like a kid and things, family. No, camper.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go through this quick. So definitely fire's the main one. You got to make sure you have some kind of fire. So whether it's a lighter, if you want to go crazy rustic, go with a fire stick. Mm-hmm. That's not for me, but I'll use a lighter.
Okay.
Definitely some way to either boil water or purify water, because that is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that. Maybe like a life straw or those iodine tablets, as long as you have something to put the water in, and then you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good knife, not like a fillet knife that you would like something you can chop a little bit of wood with or open things with.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other 4th one? What else we got, Mike? Oh, you know what? Actually, it was great things like a small tarp or like a survival blanket.
Yes.
Lay back really small, because shelter is key too. You get hypothermia if you get stuck in the wrong place, and that can go really south. And then probably have to agree with you on the Widowmaker coffee.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing though. And I guess jokes aside, if you're camping in like a wilderness environment, like away from campsites, actually doing proper camping, it's easier for those of you who've never done it. It's easier than you think to get lost real quick, turn around.
Oh yeah.
Having your back little kits with a couple little things in it, especially that survival blanket. It's like a piece of tinfoil almost. And,
it weighs nothing.
I always say you'd rather be looking at it than looking for it. It's one of the fits in.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That is like probably the number one thing that will take me out is sense of direction. I have none. I get lost going around the corner. So, I mean, I am what they call an easy target. If anyone's going to take me out, you'll see me before I see you.
But you don't have to be an easy target. At our moose hunting group, this is going back probably about 10 years or so now, 2 of our more experienced guys got lost like
50 feet from camp.
Like literally, you could have hit them with a golf ball.
We were setting up camp, and all of a sudden we see one of our buddies shimmying up a tree.
And they're shooting off guns, like not in a shooting animal kind of way, like in a we need help. They're just joking around, and then they come half an hour later, like panicked out of the bush, sweating, like, oh my god, we thought we were gonna have to like shut it down for the night, like camp out somewhere. Like, guys, we're sitting here drinking beers by the fire, like we're literally right here.
Broad
we
daylight.
Watched you the whole time.
Yeah,
we were laughing.
And sound will mess with you too. You think you hear something coming from a certain way.
His panic fits
in Steve struggling in the tree. Huh?
His name was Steve.
Yeah, that's
his name literally was Steve.
It's always Steve.
There's always one Steve. Oh gosh. Okay, these are my 5. Maybe a little slightly different from yours, but number 1, obviously for me, baby wipes. Gotta have the baby wipes. So versatile.
Am I allowed to add to that?
Yeah, you can.
Because this is actually important.
Yes.
If you are going on a place where there's a no shower deal and you're using baby wipes to maintain, start before you're dirty. It's like drink before you're thirsty, eat before you're hungry. Don't wait until the Cheerio's dirty to try to tidy it up. You have to get on it early and stick, and then the baby wipes will do fine. But you can't.
Is this personal experience or
no? Well, maybe you can't recover from it once you've passed a certain threshold. So get on it early with the wipes.
So no chocolate Cheerios. We don't do the chocolate Cheerios. Very nice. Yes. Baby wipes are key. Number 2, a tampon, and not for obvious reasons. If you are wounded, stick a tampon in the wound, absorbent. You can also put it in a water bottle and cut the top off the water bottle and pour water in there, help to filter the water. So it's very useful, very useful. A Sharpie marker. Marker. It's always good to have in case there's ever an accident or anyone is injured or you're about to die and there's only one person alive or somebody needs to leave the person who is injured. You take the Sharpie marker and you write their vitals on their arm and the time.
I was thinking like it'd be so you could write a little sign that said no funeral.
Well, so that if anybody ever finds them and you're away from the scene, they know what the vitals were at that time and if they can be saved or not. Or if medical team finds them.
Yeah, we carry tourniquets with us, and they actually have a little marker built onto the turning part of the tourniquet, so that you're supposed to put the time that the tourniquet went on for medical staff. So always thinking about the medical people. That's great.
Yeah, there you go. Duct tape is another one I'd have on. Again, so versatile. It's really great for, if anyone just gets really rowdy too at the end of the night and just drink too much, just see ya. And a credit card. You can cut with it. You can get into places with it. You can slice with it. You can shovel things and pick stuff up with it if you need to. And if you're lost and you find your way out of somewhere and you don't know where you are and you find an establishment where you can eat or lodge, you have a credit card on you. So
try a knife, like if you want to go that route.
How sharp is your visa?
Maybe we're talking survival, like minimal.
Just like you're just dropped in the woods with what's in your pocket, like out of a helicopter type of thing, and like because okay,
yeah,
I don't know why
it goes down.
Do you remember the Michael Jackson video "Beat It," where they tie their hands together and they got the pocket knives and they're dancing, like doing that knife scene? I picture kind of like that with 2 credit cards trying to cut each other.
Yeah, beat it, charge it.
That's where I went with that. It's early.
I'm thinking like making prison shanks or something with these credit cards. I your best
Uber
point
driver to get home,
getting out and finding an establishment and holy shit, I've been lost for 2 days. I just need a cold beer. You're gonna need a credit card. But any type of cutting, I'm a knife guy myself. But hey, you do you.
It's the old credit card cut, I'm interested to know, because you guys do a lot of outdoor stuff. What is your best outdoor adventure story? Dan,
Ooh.
you wanna take this one first?
You want to combine one, Mike? I've got one in mind. Maybe you can help me fill in the blanks.
Which one are you talking about?
We'll title this one "Bring 3 Chainsaws." You know where I'm going with this? Okay. So our friend Steve, you know what? So Steve's coming up. We're going to talk about Steve.
Work,
So
Steve, yep.
so when we hunt on Crown land. So it just belongs to the government. So it's open to anybody, whether you're hunting or camping or doing anything like that. You're more than welcome to use it.
Mhm.
So we found a spot where we were started moose hunting, and there was this huge like pine tree, hemlock type tree, and it had fallen down. It snapped in half. But it was just kind of hanging there, so we needed to take it down. So Steve's our older friend. Not to cut you down, Steve. Sorry, but he's got chainsaw skills. We're kind of new to this thing because this is a long time ago. So we're like
whiz with a chainsaw.
Whiz with a chainsaw. So he goes down there, and we're setting up camp, and he's going to take this tree down so it's safe. And you hear the chainsaw start up, and then you hear it stop. I'm like, oh wow, that was quick. Comes by over, he grabs the other chainsaw, and you hear him grumbling. Chainsaw, and he leaves. Okay, so he's gone. New chainsaw fires up, and he starts it up, and you hear chainsaw go for a little while, and then you hear a bunch of like rustling, and then it stops too. And then he comes back, and he's like, "Oh, I got a problem. I got both chainsaws stuck in the tree because when you use a chainsaw, it doesn't cut on an angle, so it doesn't pinch." So he hitched them both. So there it is, about 12 feet up. There's 2 chainsaws stuck in this tree.
And we determined at that point that this is dangerous, and we'd been drinking as you do.
Yep.
He wasn't though,
and he wasn't. He was very safe.
Good on him, Steve.
Good to save that story. So what we got onto the drinking more, and we're like, this is going to stay. And it's getting dark at this point. Like we're going to just deal with this in the morning, like responsible people.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a good night of drinking around the fire, good times, laughing, guitar playing, joking, things like that. And then someone decides that they're going to get the 3rd chainsaw and get and pull the tree down with the aid of we're now 3 chainsaws deep.
So the chainsaw number 3, because the problem was the tree was also leaning towards the water,
the wrong way.
So we should leave the wood. So we're gonna cut this tree down for safety. We might as well keep the wood so we can burn it.
Mm-hmm.
The chainsaw number 3 gets stuck.
So now we got a rope shimmied, and I didn't. If you never heard of what a hemlock pine is, you almost got to Google it. It's one of the biggest.
Looks like a small redwood.
It's huge. It's massive.
Okay, that's what she said.
So, yeah, no. Yeah. So we got this rope sort of shimmied up as high as you can get it, and there's 6 of us there, and we're all going to start pulling this tree away so we could at least free one of the 3 chainsaws.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts to pull, and we have one friend. He's since lost like 200 pounds, but he was a big fella at the time. So we're all pulling on this thing, and all he goes is, "Fucking run!" And we're like, okay, we just start running. And you see this tree. We didn't realize how tall it was. It comes out of the forest like it's a T-Rex from Jurassic Park, like all these, and boom, lands. I shit you not,
buries him down.
Not more than foot and a half away from us. We're all running straight ahead. It lands parallel to us and just doesn't even bounce, just buries 2 feet in the ground. Would have killed all 6 of us right there. And we're
like, my gosh,
we're losing our minds. We're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe. And our big friend, he's like, well, I told you to fucking run. Does it look like I fucking run for fun?
Nobody would have been using a Sharpie that day.
Nope. So the moral of that story is when the beers come out, the chainsaws go away, and you can never have enough chainsaws. One might think that 2 chainsaws is a bit much. Certainly most people would think that 3 is too much, but here we are needing a 4th chainsaw that we just didn't have.
Chainsaws glue. So half a dozen is really, it's like the baker's dozen is it's the way to go.
Or just leave the damn tree, because if we left, it would have just fallen in the lake and made a little nice habitat for fish. But again, we wanted to burn the wood, and it's a tree that it's hundreds of years old. You would hate to see it like not properly,
not burnt,
not sacrificed.
Jedi.
Kind of a Jedi raft you could build on that.
Ooh, yes. Have you ever built a canoe? Have you guys ever built a canoe?
I have not. Our good friend Joe has. Okay. I'm not overly handy, so that would be a nightmare for me. It'd be like come sail away on a box.
I think you could do it, and anyone with a small amount of skill could, but would you want to, and could you do it well, would be the...
For me, I think I'd go back to your survival item number 5, the credit card.
credit card.
I would just go to Bass Pro and buy one.
If you can
float
quit
on
stabbing
it.
with, you can buy.
This is not going to float on it.
I'd love to ring you in for this canoe, man, but it's too full of blood. I can't get the numbers from all the stabbing with your credit card.
Well, so I don't know if you guys remember this story, but since you're from, my neck of the woods, do you remember, and this is probably like 20 years ago now, do you remember, it was all over the news at the time, the two guys that walked out of one of my favorite stores, Canadian Tire, walked out of Canadian Tire with a canoe. Like they stole a canoe from Canadian Tire, walked right out and someone held the fucking door open for them, walked right out with it. Do you remember that story?
I don't either.
But you hear stories like that all the time, and you always think to yourself, like, because
they're 15-year-old kids. What do you expect, right?
And if you can do the same thing with the big screen TV in the back, like who would be so bold as to do that? Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I thought that just was genius because, like, no one's gonna think you're gonna steal a canoe. I mean,
you almost got to respect. You got to appreciate the process, I guess.
You gotta let them have it, and you gotta give them some Canadian Tire money for it, just for effort, for tenacity, for hubris, if you will.
I think we have a lot of American guests on. Do you think there's anything as good as Canadian Tire in the States?
Oh, gosh.
They've got your Home, your Lowe's, and your Home Depots and things like that. But does anything compare to Canadian Tire?
In my world, I don't think so. I think IKEA runs a close second in different ways, but for me, Canadian Tire and the joy. I don't know if this really like gets your goat too, guys. When you go into a Canadian Tire and you see like the yellow tags, like the stuff on sale, and you just you're like, oh, I need 8 of those fucking bar towels. Yeah.
or you for all the like everything's Frank's, so you get a bag of chips. It's Frank's chips.
Yeah.
Frank.
And I love that, like, there is that tire smell. It's gone away now that the stores have gotten larger. That tire smell has dissipated a little bit, but you still get it when you walk in, and there's just something
nostalgic about it.
My only complaint about Canadian Tire now as an adult is the fact that they put everything in this flyer, and you go to buy one, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we're sold out." I'm like, would you have like 4 in here? Like, you were the first one in. Oh, sorry, we'll give you a rain check, and you get your product like 10 months later. You forget you even had it. Like, oh,
yeah.
I have to agree with you there on that one. I've been waiting forever for this like Pet Pro steamer thing, and they put it on sale like every 2 months in the flyer, and every time you go in, there's a whole shelf space of it. I'm like nobody came in and bought 19 Pet Pro steamers. Like, it just didn't happen. So who's lying to me?
A dirty move where they just have one for sale just to try to get you through the door.
It's actually just the box.
Yeah. So
the display item. They never sell you the display one.
We try to stay away from online shopping a little bit because we own a small business. Like, staying away from like the Canadian Tires and the things like that, because you should be buying our crap. But COVID, it made it more of a necessity, and you really appreciate the companies that are doing the online thing well versus the ones that just have the one item for sale and sucker you through the door.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's bananas is what it is. Outdoor adventures for me. I don't know if you have another one, Mike, that you'd like to share, but for me, my favorite outdoor adventure was halibut fishing in Alaska. For like 20-ish years ago. Oh my gosh, that was probably the best trip. One of the best trips I ever had. 110 pound halibut, took probably like 2 hours to bring it in. We had to shoot
fight, or is it just a dead weight?
Well, so the annoying part was like you'd get so far, right? And then you just have to give it slack and let it run back out, or else you'd just lose it, right? So you'd spend like 45 minutes reeling it in, and then you'd have to like let it go, and then you were like, fuck, that's another half an hour. So you really, and you'd get close time? And then what's that?
What was the total time to bring it in?
It was probably like just like a little over 2 hours. Yeah, a little over 2 hours. Not too bad, but man, it was a big one. It was a big guy.
Did you eat fish at that time, or?
I did. I was probably so I was vegetarian for a long time, like growing up in my teen years. So I would eat occasionally fish, but that's it. and then just rest vegetarian stuff. But now being vegan, it's like no animal products, so no dairy, no eggs, no nothing.
The tough part I imagine with that would be the stuff you don't necessarily know about, especially with like your clothing and some of the way things are some produced in that, like not knowing the animal.
You know what? I don't think about it that much in terms of clothing. Like I'm not going to go out and buy a leather jacket, right? Because that's obvious to me, right?
That sweater that you're wearing right there, we weren't going to tell you, is
pure caribou.
Pure caribou. Like, we actually take 2 caribous and mash them together and throw half away, like just to get it just right. Because they're always like, "How are your sweaters so soft?" I'm like, "Oh, take caribous, 2 caribou per sweater." Like, and
you line it with a baby seal. And
yeah, no, we don't. You take the seal oil and you rub down the caribou hide, and it just adds something to the softness.
A little. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't. I don't put that much thought into it too. Like I know I'm thinking about like makeup and like skin products and things like that. I generally don't really think about it a lot there. Just more so the diet, and I just more so do just it's a health thing. I mean, I don't want to kill an animal, but it's more related to just a healthier lifestyle for me. It just works. That's what works best for me. And as you say, Mike, you do you. So I will.
When that and I'm sure you've seen it when the Game Changers documentary came out. I did the 30-day vegan just for I do stuff like that just to try it out to see how your body reacts or whatever.
How were your erections after?
I didn't see any notable difference.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah, they're still equally mediocre.
I heard it was like a marshmallow in a piggy bank. Like trying to push rope.
The sleep was better. Sleep was.
Well, yeah, because your wife wasn't bothering you for sex.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Terrible. And he's your friend. You call him a friend.
Nice, Dan.
I'm waking up.
No, but it's one of those things. I found it took and part of it's just being lazy, I guess. I found it took a lot more effort. Food gathering, food preparation standpoint, and plus, nobody in my family was doing it along with me, so it was maybe if everybody in the household was doing it, or you were living by yourself and doing it, might be easier. But
yeah,
certainly,
that's a key part too. Like if you can get everybody in on it, it does make it a whole lot easier for sure. And then you don't feel like a fucking short order cook, right? You're not cooking different meals for different people. Yeah. Let's move on to our 3-question draw. I have 3 questions for each of you. I don't know if you have collectively 3 questions for me or if you have 3 questions each. I don't know. We're going to go with it. See what happens. I'll go first. Mike, what is a strength that you have that no one knows about?
What are you looking at me for? That's like a loaded question, eh?
Does it involve chili?
No one knows. I'm Jesus Christ, this is getting deep.
I know.
We already talked about how mediocre my erections are.
Your pooping habits.
I have the ability to stay calm in pretty serious situations, which helps me in certain parts of life.
I could see that. I could see that. I could see that. 100. I could see that. If a custom car was designed in your honor, what would it be called?
Sorry.
The Bezos and the DeLorean are already taken. Just want to.
I'd be like the cantankerous Mike Mobile.
Yeah, the cantankerous. It's a custom car.
Yeah.
The Simpsons where he's like, you can never find a horn when you're looking for a horn.
What was that? The Homer. The Mike. I got no nickname, nothing original. The Mike. Very functional.
We'll go with the Mike, the 4-door Mike.
A great fuel mileage.
Reliable, generally acceptable in most environments. It's not great, but it's good.
It'll get you from A to B.
Yeah, it's a real.
It's like a Kia.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
But your questions are going to be awesome now.
Okay. Last but not least, question for you, Mike. Who is the last person you would call in an emergency?
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Really?
Oh, how'd you get back from?
Yeah, no, he'd be one of my first. I had a zero chance she's listening to your show, so I will say my mother.
Your mom. Yeah. I resonate with that. Yeah. Post show. Dan, do you want to take it away, or would you like me to ask you your questions?
You might as well go. Let's go.
Okay. If you could play the ultimate prank on someone and never get caught, what would it be, and who would it be on?
Oh, it would definitely be Mike for sure. Yeah, it would probably, if I could find some way to move his home and just not tell him, like comes back to like where his home used to be. I think that's what I'd do.
Remember when you guys moved my truck in high school?
Yeah.
There was like 8 of them that picked up my truck and moved it between the goalposts, but then literally just left, and I had to do like an Austin Powers like 86-point turn.
Do you remember that movie The Ring came out, and I broke into your house and I changed your screensaver and your computer to The Ring, so it looked like it goes like the static. And
I literally just got I'm a pussy when it comes to horror movies, and I literally got a shiver right now.
Yeah, so I broke into his house, and then I just changed his screensaver to The Ring thing, so it like does that static, and then it goes to the well, and then the girl climbs out the well and starts walking towards the screen.
You're the only one with the key to my house and the sunny
disposition.
disposition.
I'm blessed with a sunny disposition.
Did you not see the movie It, Mike, in theaters?
I have. Well, the new one was fine, but I saw when I was a kid. I saw the original one, and that was scarier, I thought.
So when I get like nervous about stuff like that, I laugh. So I went to see that in the theaters, and I'm sitting there with my friend, and I am just like this. Don't go towards the egg. Don't do it. I thought people were going to be annoyed and kick me out. They were right along with me. Everyone was laughing.
Well, you're probably calming a lot of people around you.
Question number 2, Dan.
You're gonna die. Don't do it. Run.
If you could save someone you hate for $1 million, or save someone you love but be broke for a year, what would you choose?
Oof.
See, the fact that you paused to think about that tells us a lot.
You're an awful person.
I am an awful person.
First of all, how come your questions are easy?
What? Easy? What?
And do you have a soul?
Not really. You want me to say something sappy like I would save my mom for no money? Like, oh, Mom, you had a good run.
Maybe you're like your wife or your favorite cat.
She's cool too. Yeah. Mike, I would save you, I think, my friend.
Hold on. You'd be broke for the rest of your life, you said?
I'm broke now.
For a year. For a year.
A year. Reasonable.
Oh, for a year? We broke for a year? We're broke.
Yeah,
We got our company is broke, so that's perfect.
Okay, final question for you, Dan, and this one's probably easy, but what is the grossest thing you've ever eaten?
I would say the grossest thing I've ever eaten was
and don't say your name.
Okay, I'll change the answer.
Okay.
What's that stuff you love in Hawaii? It's like sushi, but it's not in a bowl with the spices on it.
Poke?
That's the grossest thing I've ever eaten. I can't eat that stuff.
Really? That's the grossest thing you've ever eaten? Okay.
I'm not a huge fish guy. I'm like when I fish, it's like catch and release unless somebody else wants it. I just do not like fish.
That's the worst answer. Like your questions were freaking softballs. They're basically placed on a tee.
Well, it's like blind kids. What do you want from me?
So I have a question for you because I know the cycle seems to be meat eater to pescatarian, kind of only eating select meats, maybe like really, really crispy bacon, and then we go straight vegetarian, straight vegan. It's like kind of like owning a trailer. You get the tent, then the pop-up, then the little trailer, then the big trailer. There's always a progression. Maybe it's not the case with you, but whatever. If you were gonna slip up and and just sacrifice your morals and eat a piece of meat, what would be one that was going to get you?
I'd probably have a steak at the keg with probably some bacon on it, a bacon wrapped steak. Yeah.
I say that because I used to.
With some au jus.
Don't forget about that jus.
Yeah, the one vegan that I used to work with ate breakfast with us every morning, and they'd have their oatmeal or whatever they're having, and they would just say, "Oh, just let me smell the bacon. Just let me smell it." Like it was like that was one thing that the crispy was it really crispy? Tell me how crispy it is.
Yeah, turn into like a softcore porn talking about bacon.
But like, why don't you just eat it? No, I can't. But just tell me how's it smell? Smell good? Yeah. Okay.
Just let it choke me for a little while.
Oh, it's a food.
Make sure you know the safe word. What's the hey bacon? What's the safe word? Come on.
Smoked is a safe word.
Yeah, that's what I choose. Question number 2. I'm ready.
Ooh. How about here's a good one. What do you call a flock of crows?
That's my question.
That's your question. What do you get to?
Yeah, I don't know.
A flock of crows.
Well, you just said flock.
I said flock.
I don't think they're called a flock.
Well, whatever. What do you call a mess of crows?
No Googling. Jesse, your hands Googling there. No Googling.
I call it a flock. Flock of crows.
Correct. So the answer is in the question, isn't it?
No, I know. I want to throw something out there. It was different.
Yeah.
It's a murder. It's a murder of crows.
It's a murder. Yes, that is correct. You are right. Yes. It is. Do we have any more questions, or should we move on to our wrong answers only?
I have no questions. I'm gonna roll with the. I still can't believe you basically it was like what sound does a doggy make is what he got, and I'm getting
ever. Are you saying that there needs to be a rematch now? There needs to be a episode.
Monty Python and Search of the Holy Grail when they got to cross the bridge. And those of you who wish to cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3. And I get this wicked hard one, and he's like, "What is your favorite color?" Blue.
Did you ever see The Meaning of Life? Monty Python Meaning of Life?
We were just talking about the other day. Are you like listening to my phone? You got this thing, this Jenny Tap going on?
Exactly. For me, that was like one of the ultimate Monty Python movies. It was so
for sure. Funny. Watch it tomorrow and then report back. It's some of them, like the Holy Grail, for example, is held true. Meaning of Life lost a step, I find.
Lost a step. There's 2 scenes that got me in that movie. One was the fat guy eating in the restaurant who just blew up, and he's like, "Fuck off, I'm full," and then he blows up. I was like, "Wow, talk about gluttony."
But that's how thin.
Yes.
And then the second one was the mom standing in the kitchen, and she like just drops a baby out. And she's like, "Oh, would you get that for me, dear?"
She's washing the dishes. Yeah. Was it like they were talking about the Protestant? They can have as many kids as they want. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to our wrong answers only. This is
the new segment that you haven't done in.
This is a segment we have done before, but it's new for you guys. I'm gonna ask just some random things, and you will give me just wrong answers only.
Okay.
We'll give it a try. Here we go. How many strawberries in a pound of strawberries?
26. 100%. You every time. Doesn't matter the size. 26.
Wrong answers only.
Oh. 25.
Okay.
Try me again. So I get it now.
You know, like the Princess Bride was saying inconceivable, and he's like, "I don't think you know what that means."
What are polar bears made of?
Oh, no, I want to do the strawberry one again. Okay. You're gonna write this down.
Okay. How many strawberries in a pound of strawberries?
Potato.
Yes. What are polar bears made of?
Bananas.
Paper or plastic?
Wood.
I was gonna say wood. Get out of my head, demon.
If it's moist, you do what?
Throw it in the fucking garbage. Oh, no. Eat it.
Also true.
Who is the president of the Philippines?
Jim Carrey.
Okay, so we'll have to play this game again on the second Widowmaker co-hosted episode.
Am I right again? Is it Jim Carrey?
Okay, I'm ready. Let me show you how this game is played. Okay.
You ready for this?
Ask away.
Okay. How many strawberries are in a pint of strawberries?
98 degrees.
There you go.
Okay.
That's perfect. You got me off guard now. You about the strawberries here. Can dogs really look up?
Washington, D.C.
Controversial.
What do you call a flock of geese?
Red.
How many colors are in a Rubik's Cube?
Panda bear.
If a cat goes meow, a dog goes.
Hubba bubba.
What's the point of this? I'm too factual to understand this. Okay, I got it. How many eggs are in a dozen eggs?
Rainbow.
This is not for me.
Oh, I love it.
Oh man. This has been so fun. And I hear there's a rumor that you guys have a tip of the day. I would love, if you can, just the tip.
Oh, jeez. Get out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the tip of the day.
The tip.
Other than buy all our shit, and of course visit www.widowmakersupply.com.
Yeah.
Whether you are a trailer camper, a backpack camper, a get dropped out of the helicopter with just a credit card for the stabby stab camper, the number one tip is bring enough booze. There's nothing that can wreck your camping trip like running out of booze, and don't ever do that. That's our tip of the day. Just the tip. Just because the full shaft and everything, there's more story to go along with that.
Yeah, and depending on the length of the shaft, it may not be, penetrable. So the tip is always, fun. But yeah, absolutely. Don't harsh out on the beer, on the booze. Always have enough. The liquor makes the trip, right?
I know you try to keep within the hour here, but 2-second story on that.
Yes.
We with 3 of our best friends outside of us, 5 of us go on a trip that we've been going to for years. We know how much booze to bring. We know what we're going to drink and smoke and all of this stuff. And we run out of booze halfway through, and we didn't know how to function. Like, it was the worst
way to actually talk to each other.
We've been best friends forever. Why is this so difficult? And we're like drinking, like licking the bottom of a bottle. Like, oh, maybe if we boil these leaves, we can ferment it. And
try a tangerine in a sock.
So save yourself the embarrassment and the aggravation. Just bring enough booze.
Did you use the credit card to like scrape the inside of the can?
We're like, Mike got it all earlier. He cut his gums up pretty good. So.
Guys, this has been such a blast. I've loved this show. It's been so fun. It's great meeting you. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find us on Instagram at Widowmaker Supply. You can find us directly at our website, www.widowmakersupply.com. And you can listen to the Widowmaker podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you find your podcasts.
And I have listened to your show and I loved it. And you sent me a little clip or a link to your last show, midgets.
Midgets, little people. We've since been canceled.
When you sent me the link for your show and you said we may or may not be canceled, I was like, oh, okay, these guys can hang.
We're willing to take those little risks, if you know what I'm saying.
These guys are my kind of guys.
Maybe we should have you on our show one time. We can do that.
That would be fabulous. That would be fabulous. We want to make sure to remind everybody to like, share, comment, subscribe. Again, thank you guys so much for being on the show. And listen, before I forget, tell Josh I said hi.
Josh,
great guy. The
best. Miss you, bro. Love you, J-Man. Josh, thank you.
The Bears.
Oh, Bears.
Have an amazing week, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.